Most people look at this car and immediately say that's a BMW Z8. And honestly, I can't blame them because they look almost identical. But this isn't a Z8. This is the BMW Alpina Roadster V8, one of the rarest BMWs ever built, and in many ways, one of the most interesting. Today, we're gonna take a closer look at what makes this car so special, why BMW built it, how it compares to the standard Z8, and why collectors around the world are finally starting to appreciate it. Before we even talk about the car itself, we need to go back almost 50 years. Back in the 1950s, BMW built a beautiful roadster called the BMW 507. It was designed to compete with sports cars from Mercedes-Benz and Jaguar. And even today, it's considered one of the most beautiful cars BMW has ever made. BMW actually lost money on nearly every single one they sold. And after producing only 252 examples, production came to an end. Even though it wasn't a commercial success, the 507 became a legend. Today, original examples are worth millions of dollars, and for decades, enthusiasts hoped BMW would one day build a modern version. That day finally came in the late 1990s. BMW wanted to build something that wasn't just another sports car. They wanted to create a modern classic, something that celebrated the company's heritage while showcasing the very best technology they had at the time. The result was the BMW Z8. It made its production debut in 1999 and almost immediately became one of the most talked about cars in the world. It looked like a concept car that somehow made it into production. And more than 20 years later, it still has that same effect. You can park this car next to brand new sports cars and people will stop to look at it. The design is absolutely timeless. Long bonnet, short rear deck, classic BMW kidney grills, side vents inspired by the 507, and proportions that are almost perfect. It doesn't rely on aggressive styling or oversized grills to get attention. Everything about it is clean, elegant, and purposeful. In my opinion, this is one of the greatest automotive designs BMW has ever produced. The engineering was just as impressive. Instead of using traditional steel body, BMW built the Z8 around an aluminum space frame chassis with aluminum body panels. That kept the weight down while making the car incredibly rigid. At the time, very few manufacturers were building cars this way. It was expensive, complicated, and time-consuming, but BMW wanted this car to be something special. Now, what's under the hood of the standard Z8 sat one of BMW's greatest engines, the legendary 4.9-liter S62 naturally aspirated V8 taken directly from the E39 M5. It produced around 394 horsepower and it came with a 6-speed manual gearbox. The Z8 could go from 0 to 100 kilometers in under 5 seconds, making it one of the quickest roadsters of its era. It wasn't just fast either, it sounded incredible. So if the standard Z8 was already this good, why does the Alpina version even exist? The answer comes down to the people who were buying these cars. BMW realized that many Z8 customers weren't looking for a hardcore sports car. A large number of buyers wanted something they could comfortably drive every day or take on long road trips without constantly shifting gears. They loved the styling of the Z8, but they wanted something smoother and more relaxed. And that's where Alpina came in. Now, if you've never heard of Alpina before, they're much more than a tuning company. For decades, they've worked closely with BMW to create exclusive luxury performance cars. Every Alpina receives its own chassis number, unique engineering, custom interiors, bespoke suspension, exclusive wheels, and carefully tuned engines. They're recognized as a manufacturer in their own right, not simply an aftermarket company modifying existing BMWs. The Alpina Roadster V8 wasn't designed to replace the Z8. It was designed for a completely different customer. Instead of using the high-revving S62 engine from the M5, Alpina installed a specifically developed 4.8-liter naturally aspirated V8 based on BMW's M62 engine. It produced around 375 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. On paper, that's less horsepower than the standard Z8, but horsepower numbers don't always tell the full story. This engine produces its torque much earlier, making the car feel smoother and more effortless to drive. Instead of constantly chasing high revs, the power arrives naturally and progressively. The transmission also changed. Instead of the 6-speed manual, Alpina fitted a 5-speed ZF automatic gearbox with steering wheel mounted shift buttons. Today that might sound ordinary, but in the early 2000s, it was actually something quite special. It completely changed the personality of the car. Instead of being a focused sports car, it became an incredibly refined grand tourer, capable of crossing entire countries in comfort while still delivering plenty of performance wherever you wanted it. Now, one of my favorite details has to be the wheels. These iconic 20-spoke Alpina wheels are instantly recognizable. They're not just beautiful to look at, they're actually designed to improve airflow over the brakes while giving the car its own unmistakable identity. Whenever you see these wheels, you immediately know you're looking at something far rarer than an ordinary BMW. Inside, the differences continue. The cabin is filled with exclusive Alpina details, including unique leather, special stitching, Alpina badging, production plaques, blue instrument dials, and handcrafted finishes throughout. It feels elegant rather than aggressive. Even after more than 20 years, the interior still feels incredibly well built. Everything has a quality that many modern cars seem to have lost. Now let's talk about the Rarity, because this is where things become really interesting. BMW produced just over 5,700 Z8s worldwide, which already makes it a rare car. But the Alpina Roadster V8 is on another level entirely. BMW and Alpina built only 555 examples for the entire world. Think about that for a second. Only 555. You're genuinely more likely to see several Ferraris, Lamborghinis, or McLarens before you ever come across one of these. Even lifelong BMW enthusiasts sometimes don't realize this model exists. Another reason the Z8 became famous was because of James Bond. The standard Z8 appeared in the 1999 Bond film The World Is Not Enough, driven by Pierce Brosnan. Although it didn't survive very long in the movie, it instantly became one of the most memorable Bond cars ever made. That exposure helped make the Z8 an icon almost overnight. The Alpina never appeared in the film, but it benefited from the attention the platform received. Driving this car is a completely different experience from what many people expect. It isn't overloaded with complicated electronics or endless driving modes. Instead, it delivers something that's becoming increasingly rare in today's automotive world: simplicity. The naturally aspirated V8 is very responsive. The steering wheel design is really unique. The seating position is proper. Visibility is surprisingly good. You don't need 800 horsepower to enjoy yourself. Sometimes all you need is a beautifully balanced car with a great engine and timeless styling. People who don't know cars will simply see an older BMW convertible, but enthusiasts know exactly what they're looking at. They'll stop, take photos, and approach a rare car such as this because they appreciate just how rare this car really is. It's the kind of car that earns respect rather than demanding attention. When you compare it with modern performance cars, the numbers don't seem extraordinary anymore. Today you can buy family SUVs producing over 600 horsepower. Electric cars that can accelerate faster than hypercars from 20 years ago. But that's completely missing the point. Cars like this aren't about numbers. They're about the feeling you get every time you press the start button and hear and naturally aspirated V8 come to life. You will always know that you're driving something this special. Now, if you ask me whether I'd choose this over a standard Z8, I'd honestly have a hard time deciding. The standard Z8 gives you the legendary S62 engine and the 6-speed manual gearbox, making it the more aggressive driver's car. The Alpina, on the other hand, is rarer, more exclusive, more refined, and arguably the better Grand Tourer. Neither one is better than the other. They simply offer two completely different experiences. As the years go by, collectors are beginning to realize just how significant the Alpina Roadster V8 really is. For a long time, it lived in the shadow of the standard Z8, but today's values continue to rise as enthusiasts recognize its uniqueness. With only 555 examples ever produced, it's almost guaranteed to remain one of BMW's most collectible modern classics. Looking at it today, it's amazing how well this design has aged. More than 2 decades later, it still turns heads everywhere it goes. And let's not forget its elegance. It reminds us of an era when cars were designed with passion, character, and emotion before everything became about technology and numbers. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which rare or forgotten performance car you'd like to see next. We've got plenty of more incredible cars coming up, and I can't wait to share them with you. It's been Fars from Fender Branders. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.